The story of Ruth and Boaz. Elimelech, a Jew from Bethlehem, took his family to live in Moab when there was a famine in Israel. His two sons married Moabite women. Then both of his sons died. Elimelech then died. Naomi, Elimelech's wife, decided to move back to Israel. She told her widowed daughter-in-laws to return to their families. Ruth loved Naomi and replied, "Entreat me not to leave thee, or to return from following after thee. For whither thou goest, I will go, and where thou lodgest, I will lodge. Thy people shall be my people, and thy God my God." Even though Ruth was a Moabite, she converted to the Jewish faith. They traveled to Bethlehem, which was Elimelech's home. Since Naomi was poor, Ruth decided to go glean barley as the barley harvest was underway. In ancient Israel, the poor would follow the reapers and glean any wheat or barley that they missed. During the gleaning, Boaz said unto his servant, "What that was said over the reapers? Whose damsel is this?" And the servant that was set over the reapers answered and said, "It is the Moabitish damsel that came back with Naomi out of the country of Moab. And she said, I pray you, let me glean and gather after the reapers among the sheaves. So she came and hath continued even from morning until now." Then said Boaz unto Ruth, "Hearest thou not, my daughter? Go not to glean in another field, neither go from thence, but abide here fast by my maidens." And Boaz said unto her, "At mealtime come thou hither, and eat of the bread, and dip thy morsel in the vinegar." And she sat beside the reapers, and he reached her parched corn, and she did eat, and was sufficed, and left. And when she was risen up to glean, Boaz commanded his young men, saying, "Let her glean even among the sheaves, and reproach her not. And let fall also some of the handfuls on purpose for her, and leave them, that she may glean them, and rebuke her not." Boaz was a faithful man. He was probably a brother to Elimelech. He was aware of Naomi's misfortune and was generous to provide for his sister-in-law and her daughter-in-law. We need to take a short detour to look at the custom and law that ancient Israel were under. In Deuteronomy chapter 25, the law is given where it reads, "If brethren dwell together, and one of them die, and shall have no child, the wife of the dead shall not marry without unto a stranger. Her husband's brother shall go in unto her, and take her to him to wife, and perform the duty of a husband's brother unto her. And it shall be that the firstborn which she beareth shall succeed in the name of his brother which is dead, that his name be not put out of Israel." So to summarize, if a man died and he was married and did not have any children, the law was that his brother was to take the widow, marry her, and raise up seed to the name of his deceased brother. And the woman was to not marry outside of the family. And in ancient Israel, to be without offspring was a curse and an embarrassment. So, understanding the law, then we can understand what's coming up next. Then Naomi, her mother in law, said unto Ruth, my daughter, shall I not seek rest for thee, that it may be well with thee? And now is not Boaz of our kindred, with whose maidens thou wast? Behold, he winnoweth barley tonight in the threshing floor. Wash thyself, therefore, and anoint thee, and put thy raiment upon thee, and get thee down to the floor. But make not thyself known unto the man, until he shall have done eating and drinking. And it shall be when he lieth down, that thou shalt mark the place where he shall lie. And thou shalt go in and uncover his feet, and lay thee down, and he will tell thee what thou shalt do. When Boaz had eaten and drunk, and his heart was merry, he went to lie down at the end of the heap of corn. And she came softly and uncovered his feet and lay her down. And it came to pass at midnight that the man was afraid, and he turned himself, and behold, a woman lay at his feet. And he said, who art thou? And she answered, I am Ruth, thy handmaid. Spread therefore thy skirt over thy handmaid, for thou art a near kinsman. And he said, blessed be thou of the Lord, my daughter, for thou hast showed more kindness in the latter end than at the beginning, inasmuch as thou followest not young men, neither rich nor poor. And now, my daughter, fear not, I will do to thee all that thou requirest. For all the city of my people shall know that thou art a virtuous woman. So it may be a little bit difficult to understand because this is not our culture. But Naomi was coaching her daughter-in-law what to do because Boaz was kindred. So she instructed Ruth what to do, that Ruth was to go lie down at Boaz's feet after he had gone to sleep. And when he woke up, Ruth replied, spread therefore thy skirt over thy handmaid, for thou art a near kinsman. She was requesting him to fulfill the law of God and to take her to wife to raise up seed to his brother who had died and had no seed. Naomi was too old to bear children, so that went to her daughter-in-law. And Boaz was very impressed with Ruth because she followed not young men. And he said, I will do all that you require, for all the city of my people doth know that thou art a virtuous woman. So Boaz was impressed with Ruth. She was faithful and she was a virtuous woman, and she was seeking to do the law of God rather than seek a younger husband, which would have been probably in her best interest. So Boaz took Ruth, and she was his wife. And when he went in unto her, the Lord gave her conception, and she bare a son, and they called his name Obed. He is the father of Jesse, the father of King David. So, what is significant here is that the royal lineage through which Jesus Christ and King David were born came through Boaz and Ruth. This genealogy is recorded in Matthew chapter 1 and Luke chapter 3. And Salmon begat Boaz of Rechab, and Boaz begat Obed of Ruth, and Obed begat Jesse. I am sure there were many faithful women in Israel in that generation. The question is this: why was Ruth given the honor to be part of the royal lineage, even though she was a Moabite convert? Of all the women in Israel in that generation, Ruth was honored to be the one through whom the royal line came through. My conclusion is this: God honors those who love him and seek his will. Boaz was an older man and was not seeking another wife. Ruth was young and could have sought a younger husband. They both chose to comply with God's law. Submitting one's will to God is the sacrifice of a broken heart and a contrite spirit. For thus saith the Lord, I, the Lord, am merciful and gracious unto those who fear me, and delight to honor those who serve me in righteousness and in truth until the end. Great shall be their reward, and eternal shall be their glory. And we will close with the account of King David's baptism of fire and the Holy Ghost. King David was Ruth's great-grandson. In 1 Samuel chapter 16, we read, Then Samuel took the horn of oil and anointed David in the midst of his brethren. And the Spirit of the Lord came upon David from that day forward.